Welcome back to another episode of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. It's been a little while, hasn't it? I bet some of you guys thought that I'd already quit this series because I am known, at the very least amongst some people, for not continuing F1 series after about 6 episodes. But here we are back, and it is the British Grand Prix this time round, as we actually upgrade our simulator as well. Now, I was trying to save up initially to re-sign Robert Schwartzman because it's not long until his contract runs out, but I felt that spending 1.5 million on upgrading the simulator was fair enough. We had 3.4 in the bank, so it's taken us down to 1.9 million. At the moment, Schwartzman costs 1.5 million to renew his contract. That might go up by the time his contract is ready to be renewed, but that's all fine and dandy because, you know, it's all good. I'm also looking through to see if I've got any discounts at all that are less than 287 R&D points, and it turns out I haven't, which is all good. Quick look at the performance chart though as well. As you can see, we're sort of catching up to Alfa Romeo, but we're still definitely in that bottom 4 sort of area. We're not really catching up to AlphaTauri and Alpine, and the rest are just in a world of their own. Now, as you maybe just saw there, I actually have a special livery for this Grand Prix. I decided that I wanted to do a special livery for the British Grand Prix. Unfortunately, what I was trying to do was get the colours of the Union Jack, but obviously, you know, I've got to use the black and yellow somehow, haven't I? And there isn't really any like decent liveries that might be considered like a British livery. I know in F1 2020 there was a literal Union Jack livery, so I've just gone for something different. I've gone for this snakeskin livery and added a bit of white into it as well, so I have white and red there, at least for, like, you know, England, which is alright, I guess. So this is the livery we've got on the car for this weekend and this weekend only. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Let's get into qualifying. And Silverstone is definitely my favourite track to drive on this game, without question. Unfortunately though, because of the car we have right now, we're kind of slow around here. And just that, coupled with the fact that this is one of the AI's strongest tracks as well, so like the AI for some reason is just super good around here, whereas me, in my car at the moment, you know, for example, I can't take cops flat. Every other car can take cops flat, I can't take cops flat. And then there's also, you know, just the flowing corners of Maggots and Beckett's, you know, I have to brake a bit more than the AI do, and it's just super annoying. But in terms of the actual track itself, I absolutely love to drive. So we're coming drive it. So we're coming to the end of our first lap here. We're rounding the Vale chicane, and I can't remember the name of the last corner. I apologise if I get any corner names wrong. I always seem to forget them when I do commentary. And we do the slowest time of all as of currently, which is 8th, 1.6 seconds slower than the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. So we go for a second lap on a new set of tyres, but as you can see, we're not really improving all that much. Only a second and a half up. That's going to turn into that's actually going to turn into a lot of time. 3/10 up, just going through the Vale chicane, but we only go up to P18. So that means that if we want to get through to Q2, we're going to have to go for a third lap, and then in Q2 we'd be screwed. And a third lap is exactly what we'll go for as we're coming through Maggots and Beckett's here. We've dropped to P19 after, I think it's Mazepin that's improved on his lap time. We are now coming onto the Hanger Straight. I'm pretty sure this is the Hanger Straight and the first one is the Wellington Straight. But as you can see, we're pretty much even on the time of the second lap. And then as we come around Stowe, we lost time. So our car is not really that fast around here. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to settle for a Q1 exit and a pretty poor start. I backed out of the lap as well because I screwed up the last corner anyway. So we are going to be starting in a pretty lowly P19 for this race.
We return once again then to the home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. The 3.6-mile long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and Copse flat out. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, How do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, Lando Norris and Perez, Leclerc, Vettel, Gasly and Lance Stroll, Tsunoda, Sainz, Esteban Ocon and Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, Giovinazzi, Nikita Mazepin and Fernando Alonso. They've taken a grid penalty. Lawrence, Schwartzman, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So here we are then, the first time that I'm doing a British Grand Prix in a video. I'm not going to say that for every Grand Prix now, because it's going to be the first time for almost every Grand Prix. But here we are then, in our special livery, lining up 19th on the grid at Silverstone. It's lights out and we're underway. Alonso alongside us there, he must have had a grid penalty. We're racing in Silverstone. We haven't had the greatest of starts, but no one behind us has also had a great start either, as we look to maybe go along the outside of Alonso, but he braked super early, so instead we're going to go down the inside at turn 2. We're going to rub wheels with Nikita Mazepin, and then we're going to get past him and try and go around the outside of Antonio Giovinazzi at loop and onto the Wellington Straight, as we've made our way up to P17, so we've actually made up 2 positions after having a pretty poor start. I'm happy with that. Are we going to make a move on Giovinazzi? No, not quite. But this is what I mean about losing so much time at Cops. Look, I have to lift off there to get through Cops, and look at the speed that Mazepin's got. He's gone full throttle through there, as has Fernando Alonso as well, and they're now going wheel to wheel through Maggots and Beckett's. So Alonso has taken the opportunity there, got ahead of me and Mazepin, as Mazepin overtook me, and we squeeze out Robert Schwartzman as well, as I'm not being overtaken by 3 cars. You're having a laugh if you think I'm doing that. But yeah, the Cops, especially on this track, it's an absolute killer for the player-controlled car, because you just can't go through there flat, at least in a car like this, as we go down the inside of Nikita Mazepin at the Vale chicane and regain 18th place. We're now on to lap 2, and we're looking at the train in front of us here, and we actually make a really opportunistic move down the inside of Alonso onto loop, and that is a big move to get back ahead of the Alpine, but he is going to have quite a bit of overspeed. We haven't got DRS quite yet because it's not been enabled, but Alonso's going to have a go around the outside here into Brooklands, and then, you know, he still has the inside line for Luffield. I think this corner's Luffield. If this corner isn't Luffield, I'm going to be so annoyed with myself, but we managed to keep him at bay for now. And now we move on to lap 7, and we've still got Mazepin and Alonso behind us just trying to overtake us. Mazepin's going to have a go now on the hanger straight, but he's gone on the grass, he's spun, and he's careered into Robert Schwartzman. Mazepin's caught a massive crash, and Latifi! No, Latifi's also gone right into the back of the stricken Schwartzman, and the safety car is out. Schwartzman and Latifi both out of the race. Mazepin somehow keeps going, even though he literally caused the crash. And so yeah, we're going to box right here, right now, and we're going to box onto a set of hard tyres. Alonso follows me in, Russell follows me in, Daniel Ricciardo is also out of the race in a completely separate incident. He's pulled over, I think, at turn 3 or turn 2. Turn 2. He's pulled over at turn 2. So we're going to box for hard tyres. Now, our original strategy was to go from softs to mediums, but obviously we're only on lap 8, so mediums will not last for 18 laps. So we are going on to hards, and we are going to go to the end on a set of hard tyres. But Mazepin, what on earth was he doing? He tried, it was pretty much like the Lewis Hamilton-Nico Rosberg crash. where he got an absolute mammoth amount of speed out of the corner compared to me with the DRS, tried to go alongside me and then just ran out of room, and in the end spun his way into my teammate. And then Latifi, I don't know what Latifi was doing, obviously there just wasn't enough room. He went to the left, he was coming at mega speed, and yeah, Latifi's just hit Schwartzman, it's caught him unawares, and Latifi is also out of the race. But whilst we're catching the safety car queue, we get this message from Jeff.
The underbody's taken some damage. You may start to notice it.
And he's right. As we look at the heads-up display, we've got a yellowy-green floor and barge boards as well, and also slightly damaged side pods. I don't know how we've sustained that damage. Like, literally, I have no idea. It must have been from Mazepin hitting me, because when Mazepin went onto the grass, he did sort of tap the side of my car. So it means that now, not only are we on a slower tyre, as in the hard tyre, we're also going to be down on downforce because our floor's damaged and our barge boards are damaged. So now we're really up against it. But one thing we're not up against is the fact that a lot of the front runners have not pit yet. And it doesn't look like they're going to pit anytime soon. So we will potentially be running higher up in this race, as you know, the front runners are yet to pit. So we could still potentially maybe be on for points today if we're fast enough. As you can see, I'm looking through the race director, and the entire top 10 who are still there have not pit yet. Of course, Hamilton and Bottas both on mediums, so they have reason to not pit yet. All the rest of the guys on softs, they've not pit. All of us in the bottom half have pit. The top 10 haven't. So we could potentially, be running as high as P4, P5 yet in this race. So here we are then, safety car restart in one of the most awkward places at the Vale chicane. It's just, why there? We're in P16, we have Perez in front of us, we've got George Russell behind us as well. Alonso is still behind us, Russell's gone to cover Alonso off, and in the end, me turning into the corner has compromised Alonso and Russell. Me being slow stopped Alonso from overtaking there, and as you can see, everyone else in front's already bolted. Perez is already 2 seconds in front of me, and as you can see, we're having like horrible oversteer at the moment and just poor balance in the car, and George Russell's got a great run on me here. Could he potentially go around the outside at Brooklands? We're about to find out. He is trying. Alonso as well. We're stuck in the middle at the moment. Alonso's trying to go around the outside now at Lovefield and into Woodcote, but Alonso, I'm not having it. I have now got to defend for my life because my car is ridiculously slow, as if this track wasn't hard enough with a working car, as we actually cover off Alonso coming through Copse, and Russell's taken the opportunity, and we're now going wheel to wheel through Maggots and Beckett's, but Russell pulls out in Maggots, and in the end we survive another day. But as you can see, our car is just not working, so it's already hard enough with a working car to beat the AI. Try with essentially half a car. It's so difficult that it's going to be even more, and we're also on hard tyres as well, which doesn't help. But now on the next lap, Alonso's pressuring me again as we head onto the old start-finish straight. He's looking to line up a move maybe into Copse. We'll wait and see. We go around Copse now. Again, we have to get out of the throttle even more so than before. And Alonso's going to go wheel to wheel again through Maggots and Beckett. But this time we're the one on the right-hand side. So we're the ones who have to back out. And Mazepin, where's he come from? Where's Mazepin come from? We've kept Mazepin behind for so long, but now he's having a go as lap 18 this is, and now as you can see, Lance Stroll has also caught up. All the front runners have now pit, so we're in P8 at the moment, and look at the state of my car. It comes even more apparent when you see the left-hand side of it, but now, me holding off Mazepin is now putting Mazepin under pressure from the Aston Martin, and into Copse. Stroll makes a move down the inside, Mazepin hangs it around the outside, and in the end, Stroll gets past, and he's already looking to make a move on me as we go wheel to wheel into Maggots and Beckett's. We've done that so many times already in this race, and Stroll has to back out. I think when we go wheel to wheel into Maggots and Beckett's, we have to make sure we're on the left hand side, because then it is our corner and the other person has to back out. But Stroll's got DRS and he's going to look to have a go round the outside at Stowe. Stroll around the outside doesn't quite make it though. We remain in P8 for the time being, but for the time that we're defending, we're just going to create a bigger and bigger train as we carry on. And this is kind of what's happening right now. Look at these four battling. George Russell, Mick Schumacher, Carlos Sainz. And Sainz goes down the inside of Russell. Schumacher goes around the outside. And Sainz has done what Fernando Alonso did to me and Nikita Mazepin. He's got past both Schumacher and Russell. Russell's lost out big time. And now these guys are going to be ending up behind me because I'm starting to hold up absolutely everyone. And they're just kind of in a little pack that's going to become part of that big pack. As we see Nikita Mazepin going around the outside of Lance Stroll at Brooklands and into Woodcote, Mazepin has the position. He's gone down the inside of Lance Stroll and is back up into 9th place and now comes back to chase after me. That's a brilliant overtake from the Haas, considering that it was an overtake on an Aston Martin. But these two are back at it again, just behind me. Mazepin's now defending from Stroll. We are heading onto the start-finish straight, the old start-finish straight. But as Stroll overtakes Mazepin, he's also having a go at me here. We take the inside line into Copse. We still have the position. Mazepin has to go off the track in the end as Stroll forces him out wide. And Stroll's having a go at me. But Ocon's now having a go at Mazepin as well, into Maggots. But in the end, Mazepin keeps that position. Stroll has got past him and is now coming straight after me. And look at the amount of cars that are starting to join this train. Mazepin now trying to defend from Ocon. Also, Tsunoda's there as well. Ocon going around the outside of Mazepin at Stowe maybe. Stroll's gone round my outside as well and has got ahead of me. And Ocon is still alongside Mazepin, who will get the position into Vale. Mazepin still hanging it in there. He's having to go down the inside as they head round the final corner and onto the start-finish straight. I've now got back ahead of Lance Stroll again. These two still side by side. Tsunoda's getting involved. Vettel, Sainz, all getting involved. And this is because of how slow I am. Sainz and Vettel are wheel to wheel as well. I have no idea what to keep an eye on right now. Look at Vettel go around the outside of Sainz and into loop. Vettel gets back the position back again. Look at Raikkonen now just behind these two as well. This is an absolute gargantuan battle. Raikkonen's now getting involved. All three of them have got DRS. Because of how close behind Tsunoda they are. Vettel and Sainz are still side by side. Look at them go. They've been side by side for almost half a lap already. But in the end, Sainz gets the position into Woodcote and gets ahead of Vettel, who is now under threat from Kimi Raikkonen. Also, Mick Schumacher is now back in the fight as well. Look at this absolute battle. It's just absolutely amazing to see all of this battling going on. Look at Yuki Tsunoda have a go on Nikita Mazepin into Maggots. Tsunoda's got the position of Mazepin. What a move that was from the Japanese driver in the AlphaTauri. And now Mazepin's under pressure from Carlos Sainz. And Sainz is now going to overtake the Haas as well. Mazepin's dropping like a stone here. Ocon has also got past me at this point as well. Look at these two. Sainz around the outside of Mazepin at Stowe. Now look at Vettel try and get Mazepin as well. In the end, he just has to tuck in behind, and once again, like we did on Stroll, we've now got back ahead of Ocon into the Vale chicane. Wow, what a massive battle this is turning into, and it's still going on as well. There's that much going on right now that it's just continuing the whole time. You join us now on the Wellington Straight on lap 23, and Ocon's having a go down the inside into Brooklands. We're going to try and hang it round the outside to get the inside line for the next corner. We're still battling wheel to wheel. Look at the queue of cars. They're queuing up to pass me, really, and we've squeezed out Ocon, and now that's allowed Lance Stroll to get ahead of him as well. These two now side by side on the old start-finish straight. Tsunoda's also getting involved. Ocon around the outside at Copse. What a move. And in overtaking Stroll, look, he's having a go at me. We're banging wheels. Stroll's also there. We're three wide into Maggots, and Ocon, because he was on the left-hand side of us three, has benefited massively. Stroll has lost out because Sainz is now ahead of him, and he's now attacking me as well. Here comes another hugely massive battle. There's 5 cars involved in this battle. I'm at the front of them. Stroll's around my outside. Tsunoda's gone down the inside of Carlos Sainz. We've managed to keep ahead. Tsunoda has also got past Lance Stroll. How's he managed that? I don't even know anymore. That much is going on. Yuki Tsunoda with a fantastic double pass there on the Ferrari and the Aston Martin, and he is now the nearest challenger to me. Ocon is going off in the distance. Mazepin and Raikkonen, I think that is, or is that Schumacher? No, it's Schumacher and Raikkonen into turn 1. Schumacher is the one trying to overtake here. He's got the outside line into turn 3, so he's probably not going to get past, but he hangs it around there. What a move that is from Mick Schumacher around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen. And Luke Gasly and Giovinazzi are there as well. I'm not even joking. From Ocon in 8th, all the way down to Giovinazzi in 18th. Everyone's together. Look at these two, Schumacher and Raikkonen, still side by side, but in the end Raikkonen's the one that gets ahead. Wow, I don't even know what to say right now. There's that much going on the screen. I will have lost my voice by the end of this video. I absolutely know it. Look at Sainz, he's in an Aston Martin sandwich at the moment. Stroll in front, Vettel behind. Sainz is going to have to go into Maggots, as well as Tsunoda having to go on me into Maggots as well. He's pulled me out wide. Tsunoda, he was past me for a second. We've gone over the grass there. I've slowed Tsunoda down so much. I've backed him into Sainz, and that has let Stroll get past Sainz. Everyone's got DRS. Stroll and Tsunoda now wheel to wheel. Sainz and Vettel behind wheel to wheel. It's a 2x2 here at Silverstone. We've gone off the track. Tsunoda's ahead of Sainz. Stroll's ahead of Tsunoda. Vettel's ahead of Sainz. We're on board with Carlos Sainz now. Whoa. I need to catch my breath a second. This is absolutely ridiculous. And now Sainz and Vettel are wheel to wheel going into turn 1. And look at Mazepin. Mazepin's going to make it 3 wide. And Vettel's going to be the beneficiary of it. As he gets ahead of the Ferrari, Mazepin's going to slightly lose out and lead the other train of cars behind. Whoa, I don't even know what to say right now. This is absolutely nuts, but it's still going on. We're on to lap 25. We're on to the second last lap of the Grand Prix now. But unfortunately on the last lap we're going to lose another place there as Sebastian Vettel overtakes me on the Wellington straight. We tried to go around the outside, but in turn Stroll has tried to overtake us and we've actually banged wheels, and he has spun round and is now out of the running for the points. This is the final lap. This is absolutely ridiculous how massive this fight is still continuing to be on the last lap. We're now in 10th place, we're hanging on to 1 point, and we've got the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz trying to take that point away from us. We've managed to get on the left hand side into Maggots, but Sainz is actually tucked in, he's not tried to overtake me, so it means that we're now, once we get onto the hanger straight, we're really going to have to fight really hard here. We're trying our best. Sainz has DRS, Mazepin, Raikkonen, Gasly, Giovinazzi, Schumacher, everyone's got DRS. We're 4 wide heading into Stowe. Sainz has overtaken us. We've lost a bit of our front wing. We've lost the points. Oh my days, that's so unfortunate the way that has had to end. I can't believe it. We're not even showing our POV as the race ends, as we've hit Mazepin as well. We've lost the car and Mazepin's dropped down to 15th. We finish in P11 in the end. I'm not even showing my POV as I cross the line. That's how mental that race was. Oh my God, I don't even care that we lost points. What a race that was.
Plenty of action here at Silverstone. It was a memorable race, and what an impressive victory. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
We haven't even focused on the front of the race today, the leaders, and it turns out that Max Verstappen has won the race, and there is no Mercedes driver on the podium. It's Verstappen from Norris from Leclerc. So not only was the battle around us absolutely huge, we've had a change at the top as well. I can't believe how this race has gone. It's been absolutely brilliant. What has happened? We finished in P11. The Mercedes finished in 5th and 7th. Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc on the podium. I can't believe that race. We came away with no points in the end, finishing just outside. But we've had a massive crash, we've had a 10-car battle for points. I just can't believe what I have just witnessed. That was absolutely... I have no more words for how that race went. And in my excitement at the time, unfortunately I didn't show the drivers or constructors standing, so I will do that at the start of the next episode. I need to remind myself on. We now have a personnel department event, so an OS update has caused some compatibility issues with our simulation software. What do I want Schwartzman working on in the meantime? Gym, or just decline it altogether? Just cancel the simulator training basically. And I decide that I am going to go with the decline, which might sound weird, but Jim will take his focus up. but decline would take its awareness up, and I would rather increase the awareness over the focus. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I don't know if that was the right option or not, but either way, we now have actually a bit of time before we get to the next Grand Prix, but I have already sorted everything out for that pretty much. I did try and make some upgrades to the car, but we're pretty much capacity reached on the stuff that I could afford. So another department event, this time on the chassis. The team have requested Schwartzman's presence at a recurring meeting, but it conflicts with a couple of other items on their calendar. If I agree, it takes his experience down by 7, but increases the chassis department's morale by 20%. And if I decline, if I ever actually go over to decline, and it's the other way around, the experience goes up by 7 and the chassis morale goes down by 20%. So I decided to agree to that because Schwartzman's experience is already low enough to the point where if it goes even lower, it's not really going to make much of a difference. And finally, to round off the events of this episode, we go and purchase a social media team driver perk. So it boosts our acclaim by 10%, which is always lovely. But that is going to end off this crazy episode of the F1 2021 My Team series. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you like what you see and you want to see more. And if you don't want to miss a video, hit that little bell next to the subscribe button and you'll get a notification whenever I upload. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Peace.